Hello, and good day to you. Welcome back. Or no, sorry, welcome to Stories, Path of Destinies. I haven't started this yet. Okay. Alright, before we start, Omen Sight, what is this about?
Harbinger. Your presence is the sign of the darkest of times.
Is this a sequel or a
Vera,
DLC? Probably a DLC.
our protector from the void.
Running a bit choppy.
Her soul
Lower
has
those
vanished.
settings.
Her connection with the world beyond ours shattered. Unaware of the impending
Hey Ludlow, how you
doom,
doing? I'm I believe looking at the DLC trailer in this game.
blinded.
Yeah, we're just gonna get away from that. This, though... Probably want to reduce that to medium settings. I will take clarity over quality every time.
Bernardo plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed. Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows.
Never, mother, I cried.
Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble toad. He'd built universities. Then
I'm doing good.
started whispering about mass graves in the woods, midnight rituals.
Sorry, you can't have it.
Screaming. The Imperial Ravens would round
so
up
good.
entire
Well,
villages.
honestly, this is a fine
No
brew.
one ever returned. The Ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books said to be of great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians. The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The Ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion. And Bernardo had promised his mother he'd protect him. The kid was looking down, watching his city burn. Sorry, kid, Bernardo told the kid. Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone. My mother died for this book! I promised her I'd protect you. Oh, damn it. The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Bernardo had to run after him.
Alright, there's our intro. Yeah, I was just gonna say, doing pretty good. I, had not intended to, do anything this weekend until I'd, been reminded that the, local anime game convention Otafest was going on, so I did that on Sunday. And I'm still a bit sore from walking around. I definitely got my steps in yesterday. Ooh, floaty. Also, maybe... I don't know, how choppy is this? Yeah, local convention. There we go. Listened to some panels, bought some memorabilia and old video games and such. Talked to some friends. Oh, I can do something besides just walk around. Good. Yeah, that appears to be clear enough. How much of a drop is it if I just like change this. I feel like I'm feeling it a bit more now, and honestly, I do not have an eye for these sorts of things, so I'm not sure what's improved. What about low? Again, I'm not sure if I can tell a difference. How about you? How was your weekend?
The two ravens were staring at the kid like he was their dinner, which probably was what was in their tiny brains. Hey, Renato said. They cocked their heads at him. Pick on someone as ugly as you. Wait, that didn't come out right. For the Emperor! The ravens cawed and rushed at him.
Whap, whap. One raven down. The narrative style reminds me a lot of like Trine. An enemy is about to attack. I can perfect parry. Countering can interrupt any other action. Woo! Not the punchiest parry, but it's very responsive, which I will take.
A dropship flew overhead. He hoped they hadn't noticed him. The kid.
Hold X to grab, L to aim, and X to throw. Woo! Oh wow, he really goes flying.
Oh, right. The Gate of Heroes. Someone's idea of a joke, making the Skyship Docks a gated community. You needed a hero's sword to open it. And the kid was on the other side of the gate.
Now, how do you get over there?
Who let you through? Promise me you'll take the book to the rebels. Or I'm gonna steal your ship. I'm not taking that damn book anywhere. And neither are you. Try and stop me, laughed the kid. I bet you don't even have a hero sword. And with that, the
Oh,
kid
you're gonna
walked away.
regret those words when I find a hero sword.
He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Renato going to get a hero sword?
So what happened to Reynardo anyway? Didn't he promise his mother wasn't going to get into trouble and end up in the gallows? How'd he get that eye patch?
Essence? That sounds about right. Perfect.
Oh, crafting system, eh? Is my camera lagging a bit? Is it only when I have the game running? Oh yeah, that is quite noticeable. What else can I lower here? Oh, very low's option. Did that fix it? Well, it seems to be fine. I don't know what option very low is changing, but I guess we can see, since that appears to have stabilized things a bit. Oh, hold on a sec. Gotta move my stuff around. I really need a second monitor to do this. Let's look at swords, current level, and special power. Level up bonus and resources required. Alright, sure. Upgrade sword.
Hero sword. QED.
CQC. Oh no. No, don't do this to me. Ooh, get the sneezes. What? Am I just not allowed to select gems yet? I guess not. You can probably implant those into finished blades.
This is what he got for settling down and finding people to care about. The kid's mum had been a swell cook, and she'd laughed at Renado's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him promise to protect the kid. But she never told him where the book was. Just the kid. He came up to a ledge. It was too far to jump. There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling at him. How'd you get across? He asked the kid. Where'd you find
There's
the
a rabbit,
hook?
probably jumped.
I harped, said the kid. Wise-ass kid. Hey, look out behind you. Q, said Renato. Ah, ravens.
Oh, he's a rapscallion, but he's not a full bastard.
It was time to talk some sense into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down. Thing was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired. He'd done it. Maybe if he meditated at that altar there, he'd remember his old skills.
Oh, what a conveniently placed, or spawned, altar in this case. Ah! Skills. I can level up. Using 1 point right now. With 4 tiers per skill. Alright, what do we got here? Hooking a shield, wielding enemy will rip away the shield, leaving him vulnerable. Target an enemy with a dash to move through him and cause damage. Does not work on shield-wielding enemies. Well, I don't know how to dash yet, so, Attack enemies at any distance. Auto-activates when reaching a certain combo threshold. Does it just give me, like, a beam sword attack? Slow down time after a successful attack until your next action. Tactical mode of combat like a true master. This basically just turned the game into a turn-based system. It's like every attack would be a lot. Impale your enemy on your sword when you grab him to cause damage. Oh yeah, run a guy through and then throw him off something. Increase max health, increase max stamina. Oh, I have stamina? I will have to watch out for that. Well, let's get the one thing we can actually get right now. Oh. Those are the upgrades to the things. Hookshot to navigate across gaps and pull enemies. Alright. I can dash with A. Attack immediately when the previous attack hits to land a perfect strike. Bonus damage and double combo bonus. So can I maybe only do this during a perfect strike? That'd be more reasonable. Set a time after a successful counter until your next action. Ah, yes. Take a breather and plan your next move. Counter an attack now causes damage. That's nice. And just more HP. And run faster. Maximum sword energy. Oh shoot, does my sword have a health bar as well? Yee.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot. Like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
So I've already been on a journey and I'm just remembering how to do things again. Damn.
And there was the Farfarer. She was the fastest ship he'd ever known. She could do the Kestra run in 12 furlongs. Oh, so the salesman had told him. And something told him the kid was about to walk into an ambush. "Stop!" he shouted. "I'm not giving you the book!" shouted the kid, and took off. "No! Peter!" But the kid ran for it. And a goggler
Right into his
filled
eyes.
its ivy.
He'll be alright, maybe.
The book was unburned. Next to it were the buckles from the kid's shoes
Peter!
and a kid-sized pile of ashes.
Damn
Damn it. Why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid would be alive now. Really pissed off and betrayed, but alive. Oh, damn it. Renato picked up the book. He couldn't let the Empire have it now. He was going to have to get it out of there. He'd be a wanted man. Probably have to join the rebellion just to have a place to dock. Well, he'd hated life anyway.
Is that floating eyeball just gone now? Where'd they go off to? And whose ship is that? Ooh, more ore. Guess I should destroy all objects in a scene. No, my box!
Big deal about this book.
No!
Maybe he should open it.
What if there had been
Find out.
resources in there?
All that had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur. And now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him. "Where are you running, rebel?" cawed the Raven captain over the loud hailer. Renato could see them cranking up their catapults. "Just going out for milk?" Renato yelled back. "Where can you run?" laughed the Raven horribly. Far behind him, another city was burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships. The fleet was doing a thorough job. "Take us to the rebel base! I will spare your life!" it called. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven. A sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes. The rebellion was out of time. Unless Renato could bring a game-changer. Maybe he could. Renato had found out where he could find the pieces of the Sky Ripper. The legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon could win the final battle. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino had sent Renato a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion. If Renato could only rescue him. Renato dived the Farfarer towards the abyss. As he felt the heat of the jet stream, the Raven ships peeled off, not stable enough to follow him down there. Now it was time to choose. Lapino or the Sky Ripper?
Choices. Oh, alright. You can't make new old friends. Rebellion was out of time, and Renato needed a game changer. Even though Lapino wasn't what anyone would consider a game changer, he could come up with some harebrained schemes. Maybe rescuing him was worth it. Or, build the Sky Ripper. The rebellion was out of time, and Renato needed a game changer. Ancient artifact that defeated the lost gods would indeed be a game changer. Though it was split into 2 pieces many years ago, Reynardo could rebuild it by first getting its armature. Ancient deadly weapon, or steadfast friend with a harebrained scheme? Usually one for getting a large group of allies to back me. But I think I'll do weapon.
Every child knew about the Sky Ripper. The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces. What could have brought them to light? This Emperor, Isengrim III, had once been kind, but he'd gone mad. And now he was conducting secret, obscene rituals to bring back the lost gods. Had he, somehow, summoned the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the earth? It was more than Reynardo could fathom. But if he could find a legendary weapon, he would use it. As he set foot on the island, Reynardo could not help but feel a tinge of guilt. He'd left Lapino behind. He hoped the Mad Rabbit had somehow escaped the Ravens. He hoped they hadn't eaten him. If they had, he hoped they hadn't eaten him alive. Why had he
I hadn't
chosen the
considered
Sky
that.
Ripper? Reynardo never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Sky Ripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it?
Unguarded chest. Lots of treasure to find in these woods. Okay, good. Feeling pretty long. Was unsure if this is the way forward or not. Gotta get those goodies before I get gone.
If I craft a sword now, it's going to be really short.
Gems. Gem socket gems, yes. Gauntlet has 3 sockets in which you can put gems. Each gem has 3 levels, and its effect increases with each level. Picking up a gem you already have will automatically upgrade that gem's level. You can find gems in the chests scattered throughout Boreas, if you're lucky enough. Okay, minor increases. Attack speed, crit chance, resistance, guard break, item drops, and, yes, stamina back. Alright, well, I'll keep a lookout for those. And I do not currently have enough material to upgrade to the Look Badass sword? Is that really what that's called?
Who needed bridges anyway?
Can I fight these things? Woo! Oh, yeah.
Hey, how do you tell if someone's far away or just really small?
I'd say depth perception, but you might be lacking that. Wrong sword to open that door.
The people who had built this castle, did they even know what monstrous weapon lay hidden within their walls? The Sky Ripper could destroy anything it touched, or so the legend said. As the Transcendent Emperor had fought the lost gods, thousands of thousands had died. But Renato had been through wars. The only merciful war was a short one. Renato's blood
Yay,
was up.
pots.
He just needed to smash something.
Or please. No skill points yet. I haven't done a lot of fighting.
Hero wall, hero sword, ice wall, ice cube.
Where are you going with this, narrator? Or Renato? Oh no. I failed.
Come over here.
I've got a stamina gauge, but it... Or if I have a stamina gauge, I'm not seeing it show up. I don't have anything that uses stamina yet. Oh, I thought that was a barrier guarding it for a sec. Nope, just some good mats in there. Ooh, what are you? The truth behind the Sky Ripper is shrouded in a thick fog. The most believable tale is that the Transcendent Emperor has used the Sky Ripper to banish Iblis. Then, the TE buried the weapon and vanished. Was it a self-imposed exile to rid the world of its last divine presence? Or was it the price to pay for using such a tremendous power? Could the Sky Ripper and Iblis have a deeper connection than just a weapon and its victim? My rituals will summon the Iblis Stone. Perhaps I should worry that they will also cause the Sky Ripper to resurface. If that is the case, I should spare no resources to find it. A weapon that can banish a god is an invaluable bargaining chip should the old ones decide to double-cross me. It is in their nature to try. But gods are predictable, and I can rely on that to always be one step ahead. Emperor Isengrim III, Secret Journal. You just left it here in a tomb?
If only
Temple?
he had some way to break the ice. Or convince it he was a friend.
I don't believe you can sway ice. These security droids are
The eyes have had
not
it.
all that great at their job. Is this not a path? Yeah, it looks clear to me. Hmm. Yeah, I am hoping this will pick up at some point.
Renato wondered if he could learn to cook this way. Probably not.
What, by just randomly swinging? What's all the way over here? Oh, the door I can't open.
Huh? A lever? That was new. Most people still use doorknobs.
Okay. Nothing.
See? That wasn't so hard.
If that's true, they're gonna need some more complicated puzzles. I'll assume I'm just still in, like, the tutorial area, and things will get better from here, right? Though, if I'm being honest, a fair bit of this game's feeling unpolished. Not bad, just like... You can tell that it was made on a budget, and they did what they could. Can't get that yet. Well, guess I'll get the one thing I can. Can now dash.
Starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot. Like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
Dash distance is good. There appears to be oh yeah, there's the stamina gauge way down at the bottom.
There it was. Skyripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. The device was intricate. No one alive had the skill to make a thing like it. How was it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece.
Oh, decision time.
Skyripper had a heart. A core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him.
My thoughts exactly. For some inexplicable reason, Reynardo chose Zenobia. Reynardo has found the armature of Skyripper. Without the core, it would be just an empty and useless shell. Maybe he should go see Zenobia, who had just invaded a city nearby. She was the Emperor's adopted daughter and greatest general, but she was also his old friend. Reynardo didn't know why, but he felt the urge to go see her. or he needed to go get the core of the Sky Ripper, obviously. Renato has found the armature of the Sky Ripper. Without the core, it would just be an empty and useless shell. The only reason one would seek the armature was to build the legendary weapon that had once banished the gods. Obviously, Renato should get the core. We've abandoned one friend, let's make it two.
He'd sacrificed his old friend Lapino to get the armature. And the armature was useless by itself, only a series of coils and wheels. War demanded sacrifices, and he would make more before the end. He would have to choose the greatest good, no matter how much it cost him. Zenobia. Well, he would see her sooner or later, across a battlefield or a sword's point before all this was over. He was sure of that.
But what end of the blade will I be on?
Obviously, he had to get the core. He looked up at the old trees around him. They were so big and so old. They'd been there before he
I'm
was
guessing
born,
a big
and they'd been there passed into legend.
part of this game is going to be in the replay value and
Confronting his own unimportance.
different paths
What got into
of
it?
Destiny.
He was no philosopher. Anyway, who cares? He was plenty important. He was a hero. And soon he'd prove it.
Oh, what'd you find? What, how long the game is? Like, I think I've already got a pretty good idea. Just, like, so long as you don't tell me anything about the, like, direct plot. Oh, yeah, okay. Is this gonna be, like, Nier or Nier Automata, and that's 26 endings, one for every letter of the alphabet? Ah, okay, yeah. A well. Even beyond story decisions, I might have in-level decisions to make. What would happen if I jumped down there? Though not before I explore everything.
I wonder what I could make with all these sword crafting materials, thought Renato.
New car? Do I jump down the well, or do I zip across this? I'm gonna jump down the well. Yeah, looks like an entirely different path.
There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time.
Oh, that's sulfur. We're it's in the sulfur mines now. Ugh. Yeah, there really are just like a lot of treasure chests and not too many enemies. Kind of expecting this to be more of a roguelike. With lots in the way of me picking up my treasure.
Shall we just agree to disagree?
There they are.
Said Renato. No? There were
Do I need to
fewer
find
and
another
fewer
shrine
trees.
to
There were only
use these
huge
upgrades?
crystalline growths. Had those been here before? He no longer heard birds except for the feverish cawing of the ravens when they attacked. He couldn't smell the small animals of the forest, the mice and rabbits. Where had they gone? And he was getting hungry
Ah,
too.
there's one.
This was an unhealthy place to be.
I can pick up... Well, it's not giving me a lot of decisions. Do I have to upgrade everything at least once before I can move along? Attack immediately when the previous attack hits to land. Oh yeah, I haven't been using the dash. Perfect strike. Bonus damage and double combo bonus. I might actually have to start timing my attacks with this one. Slowed on time after a successful counter. Countering an attack now causes damage. Run faster. Movement speed. Does that... Can I upgrade it twice, or do I need 2 points for it?
He'd missed his old skills. He welcomed them back like it was at a
Oh, the
reunion.
first one gets me 50% movement speed. Okay. Yeah, I'll take movement speed, please. That's... presumably faster. Ah, a little late. Ooh, nice. Is it still going on? Is this the core I've been looking for? Doesn't look quite the same.
The 20-sided core made him feel physically sick. Once he had sneaked into a temple of the dark art, and he hadn't liked what he smelt and saw there. This felt like that. As quick as he could, he wrangled the icosahedron into the
Okay, I guess it
armature.
was.
The wheels began to spin, then glow. The
Coupon.
sick feeling quickly spun away. Now he only felt sad. He had lost good friends for this war apparatus. He carried his prize back to the Farfarer. Now he had to make his next move. There was a key Imperial outpost on the Nexus. If this really was some sort of super weapon, he could use it to wreak havoc on the enemy.
Yeah, I should take a look at a few more Metroidvanias. I really enjoyed Hollow Knight, and I've been patiently awaiting Team Cherry to put out Silk Song. I know a lot of people are starting to give up hope on that one ever coming out. And if I recall, I briefly tried playing the original Metroid and was kind of disappointed with how obtuse everything was. Like, you really have to scrape the world to find like the next point of progress. I got locked like almost immediately. It took me an hour or something before I was scratching my head looking for answers and then just doubling back over and over again. Maybe the original Metroid is just a little too old. Hopefully Super Metroid holds up better whenever I get a chance to try playing that, but, yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I've played. I know I did a fair bit of Rogue Legacy, and then I just kind of stopped playing that. I might have to go back to that one, too, but, yeah, I should give more Metroidvanias a look. 9 Years of Shadow, Ghost Song, Death's Gambit, Axiom Verge 1 and 2, Cookie Cutter, and Night Watch. I'm not sure if I've heard of any of those. Shows my inexperience. Honestly, Twitch doesn't have too many limitations. I really wanted to make sure that I didn't, you know, break any terms or anything. Unless the game has, like, explicit sexual content as its focus, then I think you can just get away with anything. Like, Doom is... The new Doom games are just a series of viciously tearing and ripping into people, and I've played, oh god, which super gory world made of flesh game was it that I played around Halloween? Like, gore's not a big issue. Unless it, I don't know, borders on becoming a snuff film. That might get past. Yeah, I think it was... Wait, no, Scorn's the other one. Or wait, did I play Scorn? Isn't Scorn the one with, like, the demon with a head that looks like a flower? Like, it's got jaws that open up like this, and a big fleshy mound of a head on the inside? Or is that something else? So I just played the one where I had, like, a flesh gun that I plugged into my arm and a alien predator attached to my back. Agony, yeah. Seek help from the scientists. The Sky Ripper was complete. The super weapon could put an end to the Emperor's madness. But had Reynardo assembled it correctly? Would it work at the critical moment? The scientists on the Nexus would surely give answers. Or, no time for fussin', attack the outpost. Ooh. Lightning. Getting a storm out here. It's nice to hear the rain and see the rain after so much snow. The Sky Ripper was complete. The super weapon could be put... the super weapon could put an end to the Emperor's madness, but would it work at the critical moment? Maybe it needed field testing, and the Imperial outpost in the Nexus was the perfect target. Seek help? Or just do some field testing? I mean, the thing is 2 pieces. How poorly could I have assembled it? Let's give this thing a field test, and I'll find out if I just have to put it in somewhere else.
Never been much of a student. At Swordfu School, he'd never read the books, just looked at the pictures. And Zenobia. But weapons, he understood. His gut told him that the Sky Ripper would work great. He would use it to take out the Imperial outpost. And what's the worst that could happen? The thing wouldn't work, and then he'd take it to the scientists, right?
Yeah, sounds reasonable enough.
Exactly. As he set out down the path, Reynardo wondered why the parts of the Sky Ripper had only surfaced now, thousands of years after the Transcendent Emperor had discarded it. This Emperor, Isengrim III, had performed terrible, bloodthirsty rituals to invoke the lost gods. Perhaps that was bringing up lost artifacts. How perfect, then, that the Sky Ripper would reappear to be his destruction.
I don't appear to heal between levels. And I still need more XP before I can get an upgrade. Yeah, I'll take a look. I don't know how much I already have in my library right now because of a bunch of humble bundles and borrowing from friends' libraries.
Sometimes, Renata really hated inanimate objects.
There's so many good things to find inside of them. Alright, well, this one's got a way back. I'll probably afford to go over here. Use the dash to do damage as well, at least to inanimate objects. What is that behind the door?
Renata wondered if his future self had commissioned these poles.
Oh boy. Oh, don't fall now. Ooh, new enemy type. What's your deal? Void the Warlock's fire spell. Will damage everyone in the area once it explodes. Everyone, you say? Alright, steadily getting more... Come on, break the thing. Steadily get more enemies on the field. That's making things a little more varied. Well, it's really just... It's probably just me using all of my abilities in that last fight that kept it at least somewhat varied. If I step on any one of these, it's going to teleport me somewhere, isn't it? Oh, not like I have a choice.
He was tired of slaughtering ravens. Maybe it was time to test out the new weapon. He turned a knob on the Sky Ripper. It made strange, mechanical noises. The wheels spun faster. It began to hum. The Sky Ripper was following his every step. At least it acknowledged him as the master. But there was no trigger. How was he supposed to fire it? Fire, he said.
At what? Nothing?
Nothing happened. Well, maybe it just needed to warm up. After all, it hadn't been fired in thousands of years. Renato had never
Looks
met
like I've missed a bunch of stuff.
without a trigger or a handle. How did this thing work?
Yay! I can finally craft another sword.
Renato wondered what he could make with it.
Please do. Hold RT to activate magic swords. Swords consume energy while activated. And I can swap swords. Do I have more than one now? Oh, I have access to creating more swords. Alright. Well, hero sword's been upgraded. Fire sword. Don't have enough for the winter thorn or the void blade.
This burning sword from the south was terrific for barbecuing sausages and ravens.
Quickly recover health over time, costs energy. Set enemies on fire costs energy, so damage sword and healing sword. Alright. If I find any gems. I have not. Pretty new sword and a new key.
Hey, I'm a firefox, thought Renato.
Ha ha. Alright, steadily working away, just lasering anybody who's in my sight.
The Sky Ripper was making a whining noise now, and its wheels were spinning so fast he could no longer see them. Renato had a thought. Please? He asked. The Sky Ripper began to glow. Boom! The outpost burst into flame.
Ooh.
Ravens flapped out screaming, wings on fire. The base was his. The far speaker toad came hopping out. Renato! It croaked, sounding like a toad version of Zenobia.
Don't use the Sky Ripper. It will destroy the world.
Yeah, sure it will, cracked Renato. Pull the other one.
If you don't trust me, go see Calaveras.
That sounded sensible. Why did she always have to sound sensible all the time? Oh, it was infuriating. Of course she would say that. He was supposed to hurry and bring the Sky Ripper to the council so the rebels could actually win the war. But what if she was right? Damn it.
Go see Calaveras. The Sky Ripper turned out to be an amazing weapon. It was time to celebrate, but then Zenobia crashed the party. She claimed the Sky Ripper could destroy the world. Of course she was lying. Probably. But what if she wasn't? Calaveras was the final authority in legendary artifacts. Maybe Renato should head to the mountains and speak with Calaveras. Or take the Sky Ripper to the rebels. Sky Ripper turned out to be an amazing weapon. It was time to celebrate, but then Zenobia crashed the party. She claimed the Sky Ripper could destroy the world. Of course she was lying. Probably. She was an enemy general, of course. She would be afraid of the Sky Ripper. He should bring the weapon to the rebel base and just win the war. I've kind of gone this whole journey on my own thus far. Let's, soldier on.
Just this once, he would not let Zenobia get into his head with her logic and her wisdom and her appeals to reason. He was a fox. He'd go with his instincts, and it would all work out like it always did. Oh, he was sounding like a reckless idiot even to himself. But
Reckless like a
if there's one thing Ronaldo
fox.
could never bring himself to do, it was turn back on a decision he'd made. Imperials were flapping and cawing all around the ruins. They must be panicking with rumors flying of the superweapon. Maybe they hoped to find and destroy the base before he could put the Sky Ripper into action. The Sky Ripper was whining and heating up. It would be time to use that energy soon.
Wait, was that not the wrong weapon for that door? I guess it didn't matter.
Something useful in these things, didn't there?
And another skill point. Honestly, at this point, I'm just kind of considering getting more raw stats, like movement speed. Like, I'm presumably twice as fast as I was before, but I'm not sure if I can feel it. I don't have to do anything to activate it, do I? No, I should just be faster.
It was good to practice your moves, thought Ronaldo. Keeps you limber.
It's going to take me somewhere I can't get back from. What's beyond this door? Just a chest.
This was much easier than free climbing.
Lunchtime for you. Oh, another upgrade altar. So close. And another workbench, but yeah, not even close to having the materials for stuff.
That was awesome!
Well, what's on the menu today?
He felt like Tarzan.
They still have Tarzan in this world? Oh god. Stuck in a banner.
What was Zenobia talking about? This was a fantastic weapon. Ravens burst into flames with just a touch of its killer beam. He was tempted to leave it on all the time, but he didn't want to
Such
accidentally slice off
vibrant,
some
varied
head
meals.
or
I
tongue.
had like a ham jam sandwich while I was at the convention.
No one was going to distract him.
Ah! It's gonna see me.
He blinked.
Where are you? There you are.
long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Well, this is probably just going to take me forward. Where do the other paths head to?
And this is why heroes are called dashing.
Oh no, I'm
See?
stuck.
Dashing? Get it?
Yeah, I would consider sandwiches to be more of a lunch thing than anything.
Renato felt new powers ready to blossom within him, or something.
Guess it also mostly depends on what sort of ingredients you have in the sandwich. Like, growing up, school lunches were just always, I don't know, peanut butter and jelly sandwich or ham sandwich with
As he headed towards the
a very soggy Kraft single and a piece of lettuce. And I always wish my parents had left those on the side so I could add them later, because they always just destroyed the integrity of the bread.
That idiot Lapino. If you never make sacrifices, he said, you're probably not doing the right thing. The speaker nodded. Are you ready to lead the charge? Let's roll, he said, with grim satisfaction. Renato set sail for the fleet. The Sky Ripper had lost its wine. It was humming now, as if it had taken some time to seat properly. He had always been irresponsible. This time, he'd done the right thing, made the hard decisions. He was a real hero. He hadn't let himself be distracted by old friends or old lovers turned enemies. Finally, he could be proud of himself.
Pork floss.
He was ready.
The hell is pork floss?
So was Sky Ripper. The Sky Ripper had a
that
will
like
of its own.
pork
Picked
rinds
out
or
its
something?
own targets and set them on fire. This was going to be a short battle.
Or jerky?
He would set the ships on fire if he didn't need them to get to the Emperor. And he wondered if he'd see Zenobia, or if she'd flee. Wouldn't she be proud of him? At least, a bit of respect. He'd become an all-conquering hero.
Yeah, I don't know what meat floss is. Hey, homie, how you doing? Well, almost got enough water essences, but I still need a good bit more ore. I'm pretty sure I haven't picked up any gems yet. Dried meat product with a light and fluffy texture similar to coarse cotton. Yeah, this just kind of sounds like you've torn beef jerky into small threads. I'm gonna look this up. Also known as pork or yuk sung, is a dried meat product with a light and fluffy texture. Similar to coarse cotton. Yeah, just like you described. Okay. Yeah, it's sort of... So it's not served with any sort of sauce, is it? It kind of just looks like a dry version of pulled pork, or maybe like a dry aged meat that you then shave. Huh. Okay. Ugh, gross. Oh, yeah. Get some good exercise in. I got a fair bit in yesterday myself, walking around for, like, I don't know, 12 hours at a convention, but it looks like you put me to shame. Just doing some work around the house, or was that for the
Felt like he was ready to learn new things. Thank goodness.
shelter? Or no, the farmer's market. Let's get counter damage. I like damage.
The portal was heavily guarded. It must go someplace they really didn't want it to go.
Well, it's gonna be pretty hard for you to pick things up and put them down all day if you're only walking the entire time. And I guess it wasn't 12 hours of walking. Like, I probably spent half of that sitting down watching or listening to panels. But they had really hard chairs. Or I just have a really delicate butt.
When Renato went to the china shop, for some reason the owner was always nervous.
I don't know, how hard was that chair? Oh, floor sitting's fine.
No skateboarding, the sign said.
You know, as old as I get, I never get over just, like, sitting crisscross on the floor. Continues to be a very comfortable place to be. You know, provided it ain't wet or cold concrete or something.
Ravens didn't smell any better dead, Renato thought. He wished there were more pylons he could use the hook.
Yeah, I don't usually get much physical activity in, but I'm gonna be helping a friend change his tires tomorrow, and another friend move into his new place on the weekend, so fair bit of heavy lifting coming up. I suppose it can be. I don't know. I haven't had to do it in a long time. Come on, dash. Oh no, I'm actually dying here. Switch to the sword that heals me. Need to pay more attention. Oh boy.
There was a parchment on a signpost. It was from her. Every time you fire, you risk the destruction of the universe. That's insane. We surrender. A trick? Maybe she really believed it. He could hear horns blaring the retreat. Maybe it was true. Maybe they had one.
Maybe she's just trying to get the upper hand. Don't fall for her tricks.
He didn't even need to aim it.
Well, if there's a way for me to turn this thing off, I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm trying to remember when I moved into this place. It's been quite a while now.
Renata felt ready to take on new powers.
As soon as I find a statue to stand in front of.
Renata wondered what would happen if he jumped. Would he be rescued by an emergency platform?
Ooh, big shield man. Shield grunts will block your attacks. Grab and throw another grunt into him, and his shield will be knocked away. Or let the super weapon deal with it.
And there was Zenobia, wearing the white robes of surrender. She came and kneeled before
Have to
him.
put on a whole
Why
outfit
didn't
to
you
surrender in
listen
this
to me?
world?
I was trying to save you too. You're the enemy, you said. I was never your enemy, Renato. Then she spoke a terrible word and made a gesture with her hand. She stopped moving, covered in frost, and he wondered why she'd frozen herself. Then the Sky Ripper froze, and then, for a moment, he felt very cold and discovered that he couldn't move. The next thing he knew, the sun was a giant, monstrously red. It took up half the sky, and he was in a parched red desert. And then he was on fire. Okay, that was weird. He could have sworn he just died. Instead, he was on the Farfarer, sailing away from Ubar. And it was still burning. He'd fled burning Ubar years ago, hadn't he? And now he was back there. Had all those years fighting the Empire been nothing but a vision into the future?
It was all a
useful vision
dream.
if it was true. He'd learned something. Zenobia still had feelings for him.
Story completed. Story number 7, Reynardo Newcomb. What kind of hero are you? Hero who does not let anything get in the way of his mission. Oh, I got a good bit of essence for that. New truth revealed. Zenobia has feelings for Reynardo. Tier 2 skills unlocked. Nice. New location unlocked. Desert Temple. Okay, yeah, 24 endings it looks like to head for, and I can get truths from my good friend Lapito. Got one from Zenobia. There's one from some sort of crystal-like thing, don't know what that is. And, oh, something I haven't discovered about the Skyripper yet. 100%. All right. Well, definitely going to keep going. Want to see what else is here. Choices made. Find the armature, find the core, attack the outpost, and meet the council. Skyripper, the stuff of legend, Reynardo assembled the weapon and without hesitation started raining death at the enemy. The Imperials were terrified. Zenobia, the Emperor's daughter, made a pathetic attempt to stop Reynardo. The Skyripper could destroy the world, she said. Ha! Reynardo was no fool. With the Skyripper in tow, he charged to the big battle, putting the enemy in disarray. Soon enough, he met Zenobia to accept surrender. It was a trap. Zenobia actually believed the Skyripper was a danger to the world. Her spell froze Reynardo for billions of years until the sun evolved into a scorching red giant. Oh, is that what... just froze the entire battlefield, and on my perception is that I just blinked and all of a sudden the sun exploded. Then Reynardo burned to death. What kind of hero are you? A hero who does not let anything get in the way of his mission. Feels like a bad end. Although... oh, hold on a sec. Excuse me. The, what was I saying? The fact that she froze herself to do it makes me think that she may have frozen the entire area, so... I guess... the army would also have been frozen by that too, right? So, no more threat? The rebels win?
He'd made bad choices. But now, when the real battle came, he wouldn't make those choices. He wouldn't make the same mistake twice.
No, I'd make the same mistake just as many times as I could to vary the story slightly.
That his adventure was just beginning. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Skyripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert.
Oh.
The Emperor had brought the Skyripper pieces up.
Yeah, right. I guess I had
buried
unveiled
these
this so I get some
rituals.
different
Could this
options.
be where the Iblastone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Reynardo. On the other hand, his old friend...
Or
Lapino
just
needed
expand my
rescuing.
options.
Lapino was no game changer, but could Reynardo really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Find the temple. The rebellion was out of time and Reynardo needed a game changer. A mysterious temple had risen out of the desert. The Emperor had sent his ravens to search for the Iblastone. The ancient artifact may contain the power to bring down the Emperor. Do I try to do the same thing, but slightly varied this time, or go help a friend? I feel kind of bad about Lapino. Let's go help him this time.
Ah, Lapino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time. The Ravens had figured out that Lapino was a rebel spy. If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse. Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens?
Or...
All the ingredients.
one
Pretty
short
nifty
of 60, which I think is how much I needed to upgrade something. Let's check. Oh, apparently I have enough for something here. Can upgrade my sword. Right, I'm still one water essence short of getting a winter thorn. Freeze enemies. Okay, so we got a CC sword, got a damage sword, and got a healing sword. What does this one do? Movement and attack speed. So I guess this is... Oh. I don't know which one's better for damage. The dot or increased attack speed? Probably this one. Unless I have to do hit and run strategy, which, Firestorm presumably will do more damage. Okay, and just to make sure, I have to hold RT while I'm attacking to do the damage. Same for the heal. Presumably the same for these two things. Upgrade the sword. I'd rather get a third sword. I'll hold off. Oh, but did I get any gems? No, it's still locked.
Renato had always wanted a flying carpet. This was more like a flying tabletop, but it would do.
Look at all those guys I probably won't have to fight.
The Ravens had taken the town. Renato had seen villages emptied like this. All the people taken away to be sacrificed in the Emperor's secret rituals. Renato hoped the people were just hiding. If they didn't want their things broken, they really ought to make them stronger.
I have the key for this.
The village looked so peaceful. Were the villagers hiding somewhere? Of course not. No matter how much he searched, he would only find ravens here.
2 more upgrade points. Well, more counter damage seems fine for me.
He'd always wanted to do that.
Although I guess I should have started looking more at the level 2 upgrades. Just pull shields away. That seems like a good one to get. Dash through enemies. Right, I can impale people when I grab them to do extra damage. More stamina to dash more. Might want to think about getting some more health. Yay, Waterstone! I just need to find another crafting table. Oh, if I go through this door, it's probably going to close on me like last time. Well, I mean, I haven't been down this route yet, so I guess continue going through green doors for now. I can go down the red door again later.
ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lapino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lapino. Where had the mad rabbit got to?
No! No! My ore! Oh well. At least it wasn't a stone.
He wasn't that good. Yet.
God, I need to block more. No! I died. Because I was too busy trying to grab somebody to throw into the shield man. Oh, at least that's forgiving. How we... Still not enough. There we go.
So much. It was time to turn it into something he could use.
Dash through, steal shields. If I steal shields, I won't have to worry about, trying to grab people. I should get more health, though. Lapino!
Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Renato recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing. Right, yeah, we see this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia. We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows. And that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon
I feel like
squeezy.
there's going to be a couple of
Capture
extra
the
steps to that,
Emperor's
Lapino.
greatest general, who happened to also be a deadly sorcerer, and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. And it would be nice to see her. He'd always had a soft spot for her. And he felt sure she had one for him.
Oh, we
On the
do know
other
that.
hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Well, that seems pretty half-baked. Paycall and Zenobia. Renato and Lapino were back together, but Renato still needed a game-changer to save the rebellion. Maybe Lapino was right. Maybe they should go kidnap the Emperor's only daughter and greatest general, Zenobia. Extracting intel out of her would turn the tide in the Civil War. The Eye of a Lost God must hold great power. Reynardo and Lapino were back together, but Reynardo still needed a game-changer to save the rebellion. Even though Reynardo could no longer get the Sky Ripper's armature, its core was still within reach. Maybe he could still harness its power with Lapino's help. Hey, Lapino, you want to just, like, turn yourself into a pretzel to hold this thing?
Zenobia wasn't just the Emperor's
Now, let's get the
daughter, of
band
course.
back together.
She'd been Renato's best friend in sword fu school. And you're still mad for her. The rabbit reminded him. The rabbit had a point. And Renato had a feeling she'd want to see him again. Who knows what could happen between the two of them this time around? She knows all his plans, chuckled the master spy. She won't give them up easily. She'll tell the interrogators, all right, said Lapino. Taking her would change the game, all right.
Is that going
The
to
city
change
was
this
already under
game?
Zenobia's control.
For better or worse?
I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty. What could he craft with the materials he had? Renato had a pretty good idea, actually.
Water sword or ice sword. Please give me a workbench. Oh no, bad news.
Gogglers. Renato hated gogglers. It was almost impossible to sneak past them. If one didn't spot you, another one would.
I don't know what you're talking about. They're pretty easy. I appear to have trouble hitting this one with the... whatever, I don't need it.
Open, says me.
Okay, just the usual stuff. Damn.
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lapino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lapino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renato hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, there are the extra steps I was worried about. Go for Lapino's geese, net, fire, toad, watermelon plan, or not the time for harebrained schemes. Sure, play along.
Oh, this is gonna be fun, said Lapino as he ran to go set up his marvelous
You know this is important, right? We're not here to have a good time. New sword.
This sword from the frigid north was really useful for making popsicles and birdsicles.
And still fairly far off from getting that void blade. Nice blue sword. Am I still within range of that blue door back here? No, it's been locked off. I'll have to wait another cycle to use it.
Smashing things was fun.
Yay! Big watermelons. Alright, Lupino, what's his plan?
Renato felt dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all odds, Lupino's idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's ravens ran off after the geese, the net dropped, and Renato jumped out of the watermelon and put his sword to Zenobia's throat. "Renato," she said, "are those new scars? They look good on you. You never returned my velvet jacket. It was my favorite. You look stupid in velvet. Oh, what does an imperial princess know about style?" "Ah, get a room, you two," said Lupino, probably sensing the chemistry. But the fleet was coming on fast.
There's no time to
So
be
they took
flirting.
Zenobia east, over the Nexus. She'd vanished from Swordfu School, from his life, without even saying goodbye. Without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter. Renato was aware of her feelings. Maybe this was a bad idea, but was he letting his own feelings get the better of him?
Try to get Zenobia to turn against her father. Renato and Lupino had a plan. Take Zenobia to the rebel interrogators and use her secrets to wreak havoc in the Imperial fleet. But he knew she still had feelings for him. Maybe he could just go all in, play the feelings card, and win her over here and now. No need for interrogators. Or stick to the plan. Renato and Lupino had a plan. Take Zenobia to the rebel interrogators and use her secrets to wreak havoc in the Imperial fleet. But he knew she still had feelings for him. Well, maybe it was inappropriate to play the feelings card on account of her being prisoner and all. Maybe it was best to stick to the original plan. Abuse her feelings, or abuse her and disregard her feelings? I'm not sure which one is more insensitive. This one turns her traitor. Whereas this one, I would hope the rebels don't do anything too violent with her. Let's make use of the fact that she still has feelings for us.
Let's not do this. Let's not do what? Asked Zenobia. Look, you're the Emperor's right hand. You are going to have me interrogated, she said. Sure, yeah, but then I remembered how you feel about me. How I feel about you. You were going to have me interrogated.
Said that already.
But I didn't. Because you care about me, said Renato. Well, guess again, Buster, she said, and she pushed him off his own boat.
I thought you loved
Towards
me!
the bottomless clouds of the abyss, Renato decided that he'd not really handle the situation with his usual finesse.
I have
Tried
died.
something bold and paid the price for it. The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators.
Oh, yeah, there's a
Turned
bend.
her over to them. But this was war.
Oh, well, I get a chance to go through another door now. Does that not even get me an ending? Figured there were going to be a couple of joke endings, granted in an already comic-filled game.
Ice walls only let you through if they knew you were cool.
Big chest. Yeah, it was totally worth dying there. What do I get? Ooh, is that a crystal? Or a gem? No, a gem. Crit chance.
Anyone ever tell you you have a lovely eye? No?
I thought that worked. Why isn't that working now? Yeah, I did beat Kadelka. I slept too long!
Well, he could take her or leave her. Sorry. It's best I could do.
Oh no. Those things are pretty nasty when they can get a head off.
So, what's this plan of yours?
Oh, is there no way to skip
Use me as
these?
bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Reynardo hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Reynardo. Oh, this is gonna
Well, if
be
it worked the
fun,
first time, it should work the second time, right?
as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan. Hey! Hey, a workbench!
Crit
Try out a
chance!
new
Yay. 10% chance to deal double damage. Oh, even more than I thought it was going to be. 1% would have been fine. At least it puts it on the board. And yeah, still far off from anything else. It's not particularly a secret. You just have to scroll down the page a little bit to see that I got a link to my socials and my YouTubes. Don't worry about it. The YouTube is just a VOD channel, so you can go check the old video if you want to see how it ended. I believe I got the good ending. I found the amulet, and oh god, I know there was more to it than just that. Shoot, where were the other stipulations? I had the amulet. I used it to block that attack that probably would have killed me otherwise. And then... oh, yeah, and then I have to beat the boss, which was... that first round was pretty scary, how much damage she did to me. And then I just spammed the reflect damage, which made the rest of that fight rather trivial.
Reynardo felt
Didn't beat the
dubious about
gargoyle,
whole
unfortunately.
plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But
I'll have
against
to
all
do
odds,
another attempt one
Peter's
day
idiotic
with a
plan
different
worked.
build in mind, maybe,
Zenobia's ravens ran off after
and
the geese.
see if
The
I
net
can't
dropped,
beat him.
and Reynardo jumped out of the
Well, I feel like that one's
with his
just...
sword to Zenobia's throat.
yeah, super boss. That one's just going to require me to do some grinding, right?
Those new scars.
Or maybe make use of those timed mechanics, because I know the game's supposed to get easier as you play it.
was my
And there's
You look stupid.
certain gear upgrades that drop at increasing intervals as your playtime increases. Although, I heard that they're also really stupid, like you have to save the game at very particular junctures.
His life, without even saying goodbye. Without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter. Reynardo was aware of her feelings. Maybe this was a bad idea, but was he letting his own feelings get the better of him?
I mean, special items will make it easier, but yeah, grinding is just the way for everything.
Lapina was right, Renato thought reluctantly. She knows things. She recognized his look. You're taking me to the interrogators, aren't you? She said.
You're gonna push me off the boat otherwise.
And then she jumped with horror. Renato saw Zenobia plummeting. Then he saw the Nexus below them. Cats always land on their feet. Ah, she'll head for the Imperial outpost, yelled Lapino. You have to catch her.
I mean, there's two bad endings. The one where I have the amulet, or the one where I lose. Alright, where I don't have the amulet, or the one where I lose?
Her minions at the outpost. Well, he did love a good chase.
Okay. Although I'm not really sure how much that changes the course of events. I suppose the amulet is presumably destroyed with me if I have it, otherwise it just remained lost in the fountain.
Hoped his hook didn't break.
No, I'll go back and play it one of these days. I'm interested in doing more Kodelka runs. But we collectively have to move on. I got lots of other games to play.
This chest was really horrible. Get it?
Yeah, that's the next one I have in mind. Sequels, baby. I'll try to keep you updated on, when I'm playing that. Ow. Yeah.
It was something he liked to do, but he was closing on her. He could smell her fear. He tried not to think about the interrogators at the secret base.
Yeah, when in doubt, you can check the schedule. I do my best to update it with whatever game I intend to play next, but some of those decisions don't get made until, like, day of sometimes. And that's if I actually remember to update it before I start streaming.
Put a railing on this thing, he thought.
Yeah. I actually received that same piece of advice from other streamers who, highly recommended that if I want to grow the community, then I should probably put a Discord together, so I'm gonna start looking into that.
More fire? Yes, please.
Oh no. Don't give up, Ludlow. Or, don't give up, homie. No, don't give up either, Ludlow. Keep living. Watch out for explosive ravens. Oh, that sounds bad. When hit or thrown, they will explode after a few seconds. Use them to your advantage. Okay. Woo!
Renato reached the outpost.
Oh yeah, it's
Imperials
just
there
like
were no match for him. Soon after,
creating a server
Shinobi
and
leaped into the path.
specific channels for
When
it.
she realized he was already in front of her, she didn't even try to run. Oh, you left without saying goodbye. Again, he said, please. I'm enjoying this a little too much. She said, shaken. Oh, spare us the chit-chat, would you? Said Lapino as he shackled her hands so she couldn't throw spells. She knows all his plans. All the way back to the Farfarer, Lapino nagged Renato about how the interrogators would pry all the intel out of Zenobia. How that would turn the tides in the imminent battle. All they had to do was take her to the rebel secret base. Renato didn't like to think about what the interrogators would do to her. Couldn't he just talk to her?
This is too cruel. Skip the rebel base. Once again, Zenobia was Renato's prisoner. The next stop would be the rebel base. But the things the interrogators would do to her, Renato could skip the base and find a way to interrogate Zenobia himself. Or take her to the rebel base and win the war. Once Zenobia was Renato's prisoner, the next stop would be the rebel base. The things the interrogators would do to her, the thought made Renato shudder. But it was necessary so they would win the war. Yes, he would take Zenobia to the rebel base. I'm willing to give her a second shot.
As they pulled away from the Nexus,
Now.
Renato could see the fear in Zenobia's eyes. I can't take her to those creatures at the base, he whispered to Lapino. Ah, you've gone soft. Soft in the head. We captured her for what she knows. I'll take her to the mountains. Tell all the horrible things the Emperor's done. Yeah, believe me. She'll turn. And he turned the wheel.
It's gonna be my word against years of indoctrination. I don't know about that.
The two of them wrestled for control of the ship. It shot off like a mad sparrow. Suddenly, Renato was falling.
Am I dead again? Oh, I suppose you could try restarting your computer, or,
Was standing over him. Why didn't you take me to the base to be interrogated? She demanded. Do you know what's left of people they interrogate? This is some trick, isn't it? To make me fall for you again. Well, I won't. Oh, go on then.
You
Scurry
can't
back to
resist
the
my
Ravens.
devilish
I can't
charm,
stop you. But strangely,
my roguish good looks.
as Renato set off to find the Farfarer, she followed him, keeping just out of sight of the Ravens.
You're following me, right? Oh, I'm real far off on this one. Did I have exactly enough ore for the last upgrade? What happened to the rest of it? Yeah, I guess just enough for Firestorm. Alright.
He'd once met a pirate captain who used hooks to get around his ship. Oh, what was his name again?
What? What you suggesting there, homie? I'm not sure if I like where this is going.
Those flames really bring out your eyes.
Oh, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Zenobia. What a funny jab, man. You got me.
Sandcastles when he was 2.
Does Fire Sword like this? No. Which way to go? Blue door. What? Oh, there we go. Actually, I have to swap to the sword.
That is a very cool sword, thought Renara. No, seriously. He couldn't feel his paw anymore.
Or
A very clever engineer named Elon Muskrat had got his start making floating platforms. Not many people knew that.
ow. That ice might also just initiate instant
As Renato
death too.
stopped to
Very
sniff
nice.
the wind, Zenobia came up, still mad. Did you really think you'd just talk me into betraying my father? Oh yeah, sure, that was exactly my plan. Then why aren't you even talking to me? Because I've never talked you into anything in my life. They're gonna court-martial you for letting me go. He caught a whiff of the Farfarer. Wet rope, tar,
Am I not
and
a...
flask of Scobel ale he'd spilt last year.
Can they court-martial me? Am I not, like, a... The retired pirate was in the description. I'm like a privateer. I suppose I'm, yeah, like, technically employed by them, but... not sure if I serve any, like, formal office.
Renado's paws were getting numb. Calaveras really didn't want company, did he? Renado wondered if he should have taken Zenobia to the rebel base for real. Maybe she wasn't playing him after all. After the bleak talk about the Emperor's dark secrets, he was regretting his suspicions. Sure enough, the Farfarer had crashed in some rocks. There was no sign of Lupino.
Oh, where's he
Zenobia
gotten
caught
off to?
up. All that kid stuff in Swordfu School. Look, look, that's the past. We're adults now. We have duties to other people. And we have destinies. What are you talking about? And you are the most arrogant, slow-witted, light-fingered, mercenary, immoral, reckless. Run away with me, said Renado, and he realized he meant it. What? Just like that? She demanded.
Oh, this has turned into a romantic story now, is it?
So she kissed him. And it was the best kiss he'd ever had. They held hands as they boarded the Farfarer.
Yeah, who started writing
Light-hearted.
a fan fiction? This, like, is this a dream? Did she charm him and he's passed out?
Suddenly realizing he could have been captured. A prisoner. He's not. How'd you know? He saw something in her eyes he didn't understand. He fell, didn't he? Into the abyss. She looked away. Wouldn't answer. But then a bolt smashed through the Farfarer's keel. The broken ship plummeted out of the clouds. Renato picked himself off the deck. They were alive. We have to get to my private ship, she said. Do you trust me? I guess I must, he said.
Not like I have any other options at this
Clear the
point.
path, she said. I can't kill my own soldiers. He wanted to say that he didn't trust her, that he had no idea what he was getting into.
In a world where the sea is the sky, yeah, there's going to be a lot of falling instead of
Following his heart.
swimming, I suppose, unless you're
That's
a
what it
bird.
means to be a hero. You had to follow your heart.
Yeah, no other gems. I need another statue to use ability upgrades. Don't have the Void Sword for that. Ah, there we go. Okay. Attack immediately when the previous attack hits to land a perfect strike. Bonus damage and double combo bonus. Or slow down time after a counter. Or just get some more health. Maybe shield hook. Yeah.
Nice. That could be useful.
Throwing so good. Yeah, you're right about falling. There's lots of it in this iteration.
Well, they really needed to redecorate anyway.
Oh wait, I've gone this way before. No! Oh well. Maybe there's another branching path over here.
What were these poles exactly? Parking meters from the time of the lost gods?
You still with us?
I think this is yours, said Renato. but he couldn't hear his enemy's answer. Why wouldn't they come close? We could kill them. Can I borrow that?
Ow.
They paused to catch their breath. It was strange to be so close to her. What are you thinking? He asked. I'm trying very hard not to think. Me too.
Moment of truth's coming.
Said. Up ahead, he could see the thin silver of Zenobia's personal ship. It looked fast. They would leave all this behind.
Or she may betray him at the last minute. Again.
Shall we dance? Good lead, Raven. There was a sign. Take the goat across first.
I don't feel like that grapple works every time. Almost out of here. Enchanters can buff and heal enemies. Buffed ravens are very dangerous. Can it do anything else besides buff and heal? Can it do anything on its own? That doesn't look like it. I guess that's close enough to the edge.
As they reached her ship, Renato suddenly felt a sharp pain in his stomach. He was surprised to see a crossbow bolt sticking out of it.
Oh.
I was going to lead the Empire to a secret base, said Lapino. But no, you had to screw up my plan because you still got a thing for her. Renato stared at Zenobia. The kiss, was it real? She said, with a look of indescribable sorrow. She gestured and said an arcane word, and Lapino went flying into the abyss, screaming, "I'm telling your father!"
Good luck doing that from hell!
Cradled his head, and her paws felt very soft and warm. Renato stared at the book. He was still alive, again, and still only flying away from burning Ubar. Had he lived that adventure? Or only dreamt it? Had he really died? It felt so real, not like a dream at all. And he'd lost again. Oh, he hated that. But he had made different choices. And he'd lost in a different way. It was the book, wasn't it? Oracles showed you your destiny. But this was showing him different ways he could die miserably. Thanks a bunch, book, he thought. But these were destinies that he did not have to fulfill. But he'd learn another true thing. Lapino was a traitor. Renato had suspected there was something wrong with the mad rabbit. But now he knew there was malice behind his goofiness.
Another truth unveiled, probably. Am I into metal? Is this a reference to something that I just missed, or a genuine question? If so, no, not particularly. I'm more of a folk / indie rock kind of guy, but if I'm being honest, all I really listen to are soundtracks to things I enjoy. So mostly video games and anime. Zenobia was the Mad Emperor's daughter and his greatest general. Interrogating her would expose enemy secrets and turn the tides of war. So Reynardo and Lupino set out to capture her, and, against all expectations, succeeded. But Reynardo had feelings for Zenobia and could not bear the thought of seeing her suffer at the hands of the interrogators. So he changed the course, forsaking the rebellion, letting Dini know that he was derailing a clever plan devised by Lupino, who in fact was an agent of the Empire. Zenobia, moved by Reynardo's compassion, admitted her own feelings for him. They chose to flee together, only to die at the hands of a very frustrated Lupino. You know, there's certainly some metal I enjoy. It's not like, country. I can't stand country. Which sucks, because I live in Alberta. It's like all you hear on the radio. Alright, Lupino is a traitor. Zenobia has feelings for us. Something with a, I don't know, a crystal or a seed looking thing, and the device. I wonder if I can get some more information about that device. Oh, this is probably the other MacGuffin.
But that meant there must be a destiny where he survived and won, right?
Alright, let's see if we can't do one more route.
And with that, the book's pages fluttered back once more to the beginning, and the clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas.
Really wish I could skip this.
Time to choose.
Oh well.
The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Or
I
so
suppose it's been a
scholars
while
and
since I've
lanterns had
tried
told
taking
me.
a look at country. I
Surely the
suppose I
weapon
could
that
give
banished the lost gods could
Mr.
defeat the Emperor.
Adams a
Also,
listen when I
the
get the
temple had
chance.
risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis Stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Of course, Renato had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
That traitorous hair? I think not. To the temple.
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iblis Stone.
Weasels?
It sounded ominous. It sounded powerful. If the Emperor was searching for it, it must be dangerous. And so, Bernardo went ostrich hunting. Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis Stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals?
No, I probably don't have anything.
The air here tasted bitter. The steps were too tall for a person. The entire place felt restless, like it had been vexed to nightmare under the dust, waiting for its hour to come around at last.
Whoops.
He smells burnt fur. His.
Get out of here.
I'm sorry. Is that your shoe?
Boom.
Ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. Then he hadn't come too late.
Well, let's see. Most recently, I've been listening to Lies of P, because those records that you acquire in-game were beautiful to listen to. I regularly put on the Valhalla soundtrack, because it's really good background music, as is appropriate. It's, you know, like what you're listening to the entire time through the bar. I enjoy a fair bit of Persona 3 music. Just found that one really, really popped. There are a good number of vocal tracks in the Yakuza games, mostly from the disco and karaoke sections that are fun. Trying to think of what else. Banjo-Kazooie, it's an old favorite. Oh god, I have 2 points. I can get rank 3 stuff now. Inflict damage on hooked enemies. Meh. Dash through shield-bearing enemies. Max stamina. Needs to further max stamina? Well, let's get some more HP.
Way better than being able to shrink down to the size of an ant.
And...
What's that all about, anyway?
A little bit of extra damage. I have been grabbing people a lot. Let's get that. Ow. Ow, God. Well, I countered that. Okay, yeah, things are definitely getting more complicated, and enemies are becoming more aggressive.
This chest was filled with reprints of the entire Sandman series. Reprints? God, what was the point of collecting those? Ooh, and there was something else.
Way forward there, or blue door here. Gotta take the extra door.
Bernardo felt a little better.
Find the stone! You have been chosen in this critical mission for your ability to follow orders to the letter without question. Do not believe the naysayers. Your score in the intelligence test is only proof that you are better geared than anyone else to follow orders. Take pride in knowing that I, your emperor, have handpicked you for this mission. Follow the instructions to the letter. Always travel in pairs. Do not look at the engravings in the wall. Do not lose the hermetic box. When you find the stone, immediately place it in the box and seal the box. If you hear a voice in your head, ignore it. Remember, the temple is haunted, obviously. This is an old temple dedicated to an old evil god. There were blood sacrifices. Of course it would be haunted. Ignore the voice in your head. Remember, ghosts cannot hurt you, but they will try to confuse you. When you hear a voice, take the drowsy pill. If you meet another soldier with the stone and it is not in the hermetic box, immediately spray them with drowsy gas. Find the stone, put it in the box, seal the box, and most important of all, find the stone!
It wasn't his fault.
This has been a message from your adoring emperor.
No one could beat Bernardo at hot potato.
Honestly, that bridge made things easier for me. But I forgot
What
to
did you
heal.
do if one of these platforms stalled?
Ow. Ah, too close.
That was always a rush.
Found a shield breaker gem. Your hits cause shield grunts to drop their shield. Just works. Alright. Don't have anything for that. Believe I've been here before in a different run. Is there anything back this way that I can get to? No. And I do not have the means of production.
The Ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
Well, I've got lots of void shards now. I just need some more ore. I can get that last sword.
Ronaldo hated cannon traps. Also, who reloaded these things anyway? He never figured that part out.
Oh, there's the stone.
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked
So
it
the
up.
Sky Ripper was just a D20. What is this?
Who said that? It was the stone. Eager, thirsty.
Why daughter? Why not the Emperor?
That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and Renato wasn't sure he really wanted to be Emperor. Why not capture the core of Sky Ripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. It's the core, said the stone anxiously.
Blood and death for Iblis. The Iblis Stone. It promised great power in exchange for the blood of Zenobia, who was once close to Reynardo, but she was also the Emperor's only daughter and greatest general. If it meant gaining enough power to turn the tide of the war and even defeat the Emperor, It might be worth the sacrifice. Even without the armature, the core had power. The Evilist Stone, it promised great power in exchange for the blood of Zenobia, who was once close to Reynardo. But could Reynardo really kill Zenobia, even if she was the Emperor's greatest general? Maybe Reynardo could instead get the Skyripper's core. The Evilist Stone did not seem to like the idea at all. Was it afraid of the power of the core?
The stone
Let's get
bothered
all
him.
of the ancient artifacts.
He hated being told what to do. Wasn't that why he joined the rebellion? Wasn't that why he'd refused to be a soldier? He'd agreed to come on board only if he could freelance. The stone felt a bit clingy. The sage Calaveras had told him where
Yeah,
to
that's
find
one way to describe an
a
evil,
weapon
corrupting
capable of
force.
challenging the gods. Even without its armature, the core would still possess great power. He would go there. The moment he landed the Farfarer, Reynardo had a rare feeling of regret. It's not too late, he thought. He could turn around and sail for Zenobia's island. He frowned. Wait a minute. He didn't want to kill Zenobia, did he? Sure, technically she was the enemy, but they'd been at Sword Food School together. They'd never been lovers, but somehow they'd been closer. She'd told him every secret about herself. Except the biggest one. That she was the Emperor's daughter. No. Kill Zenobia, whispered the stone.
And we'll get there soon. Dear Zenobia, the director of the Academy has told me how much he was impressed by your academic performance and leadership. Somehow, I doubt this was a session of bootlicking. I have seen plenty of those. That old toad is sincere. I am proud of you, my daughter. You will make a fine empress one day. On my end, great news. Professor Calaveras has been studying the Nexus, and he has made a bold observation. That toad is a true genius. You know how that island is unique, constantly changing, new crystalline formations appearing, island fragments merging, splitting, slowly drifting, held together by some invisible threads. Professor Calaveras is convinced those changes are not random, but rather indicative of the living nature of the islands. He has observed that certain changes on the Nexus follow or sometimes precede a turbulence on another island. Landslide, quake, flood. The Nexus seems to resonate with those events. Maybe the islands are a hive mind, and the Nexus is the brain. In any case, I am funding a permanent scientific observatory on the Nexus. It will attract the Empire's greatest minds, with Professor Calaveras at the helm. I anticipate a great age of enlightenment for the Empire. With love, Father.
He kind of seems like an alright guy.
Sharp? Check. Pointy? Check. Flexible? Check. What else do you need in a sword?
Go boom! Yeah! Oh, that didn't kill you? Got blowed up twice, man.
His sword food teacher used to
Ooh,
say
more
power
crit.
gems were cheating.
So what am I at now? Like 20% chance? Ow. More materials, please. Yellow door.
Firewalls only let you through if they think you're hot enough.
Oh, fire door. Okay. Once again, I have the stones. Or the swords.
You almost never saw wild gogglers together like this. The toads had to train them not to peck each other to death. So these had to be Imperial gogglers. That meant ravens were up ahead. Take a leap of faith, said the inscription.
No.
It was all coming back to him. He wondered what he'd remember next.
I guess there must be another way to get here. Huh. How would there be a fire door here otherwise? I already used a fire door to get to this section. Elemental resistance. That's nice, I guess. I'll just take more shards.
The
Or
stone
more
hadn't lied about what it could do
gems.
for him. With each raven he cut down, he felt a jolt of power flowing into his arm. "You're weak," whispered the stone. "The call will kill you. Are you afraid of it?" "No, don't be ridiculous," it chuckled. But it's unstable. It will poison you so much as carry it, and if you try to use it, it will explode catastrophically. Bernardo did not trust rocks that talked in his head. He went onwards.
It's over here. A door. And just a basic one. I think I've seen that room before. Yeah, what's over here then?
Toad looked down, he thought.
Boom. Please. Please, I just need ore. Ooh, energy on kill. Not to value over here. Maybe. Yeah, I've been here. Okay. But I can backtrack this way?
Didn't your mother tell you it's rude to stare? Snapped Renato, a little smug.
Guess not.
Of course there was a puzzle. You couldn't expect the Transcendent Emperor to bury a god's eye in a leather sack where anyone could pick it up.
Is this really a puzzle?
See? With enough leverage, you could go anywhere.
Ow. Ow. 1 point available. Let's get slow down. Yeah, kill that thing now. Don't want super fast ravens hitting me.
As he approached,
A boss fight is just a puzzle where I have to figure out how to kill the boss without, you know, missing too many moves.
he had a sudden vision of plunging his gauntlet into the core and dying in anguish. That wasn't his vision, was it? The stone had sent him its darkest fears, hadn't it? He had a sudden impulse to do exactly that. He raised his right fist and plunged it into the core. There was a rush of light. He thought he could hear the stone screaming. And then he passed out. When Renato came to, the core was gone. But the Iblis stone was no longer black, but glowing with a blue light. And it was silent. "I can't hear you," he sang out. And, "You?" It didn't answer. "Ha!" he said. He had defeated the demonic gem with the power of his mind.
Or with the power of a
It
equally
was time to
strong
attack the
artifact.
outpost on the Nexus. Take the battle to the enemy. But among the huge crystals, there was also an observatory. A wise man would probably ask the scientists exactly what he had first. How wise was he?
We seem to be taking a bit of a safer route this time. Maybe that one. It never hurts to ask for advice. You can always ignore it. Renato was able to silence the Iblis stone using the Sky River core, but the power it gave him was intact. It would be wise to understand what he had done. The scientists at the Nexus would have answers. Take the battle of the enemy. Renato was able to silence the Iblis stone using the Sky River core, yet the power it gave him was intact. What was it about not looking a gift horse in the mouth? Maybe it was time to use this power to turn the tides. Destroying the enemy outpost of the Nexus would be a great first step.
As the Farfarer made its way toward the Nexus, Renato could see tiny sparks in the blackness that was the Iblis stone, as if somewhere within it, the core was still spitting out energy, which the Iblis stone sucked in hungrily. You'd think the stone would want this kind of power, wouldn't it? Thought Renato. Well, the scientists would explain it all.
So this thing that's hungry for power is just sucking on its artifact pacifier.
See? He'd trusted his gut, and it had worked out. That's what it meant to be a hero. To ignore the naysayers and the odd-makers, and do what you knew was right, and have it turn out to be the right thing. Well, he wasn't worried. Once he got to the observatory, the scientist toads could explain it. Then he could carry the war into the enemy's camp and destroy them all.
Did you just fall off the edge? I didn't even do anything.
The platform used a hybrid propulsion system fueled by anti-gravity and wishful thinking.
Just a few
more bits of ore.
Let's just keep this between us, if you don't mind. Renato had never felt better in his life. Normally, a battle would wear him down and he would need a night's sleep. Now he felt like he could go all night and all day. He felt like people were cheering him on, and he could practically hear their applause as he slew one raven after another.
Ooh, did I almost fall off the ledge?
What was really fun was hooking yourself onto a moving ship.
Oh, come on, one more. I don't want 26 number.
The Imperial fleet was closing in on the rebels, forcing them to come out and fight. Renato was itching to bring the fight to the enemy. He had to remind himself not to be too reckless.
Gems. Put in a energy on kill. 3% sword energy. And Shellbreaker is convenient, but let's just put on something that gives me a straight up benefit that I wasn't getting otherwise. Because I can still, you know, use people and hookshot to take away shields. Nice. Flawless victory. I came from here? Yes. Yay, ore. But it's too late to go back to the crafting table. Hopefully I'll find another one soon.
The toads at the observatory measured the stone with their occult devices. I fed it the core of Sky Ripper, explained Renato. No more VV blood and souls. But the core is not an unlimited energy source, said one toad. Another said,
There's a feedback loop, you see, which could overload the stone.
Yeah, the stone doesn't actually feed on souls,
Claim the
Oh
third.
god.
but on pain of killing another sentient being.
Yoda, a know-it-all, and a
Would
server
you
bro.
truly be at peace with yourself? It would not overload.
This was all very confusing. At peace? Yes, the mountains were peaceful and quiet, but he now had the power to turn the tides. He should report to the Rebellion Council and prepare for the decisive battle.
At peace. Yes, that almost makes sense. The core was protecting Renato from the Elis Stone's dark influence, but too much killing would overload it. He had to find inner peace to maintain balance. But overloading the core did not sound reassuring. Maybe Renato could try to find peace real quick, then go back into the fray in time to save the rebellion. To the mountains he would need to go. Really? You want me to, like, achieve enlightenment with the threat of war on the back of my mind? At peace. No, the rebellion depended on him. The core was protecting Renato from the Iblis' stone's dark influence, but too much killing would overload it. He had to find inner peace to maintain balance. But finding peace takes time, and the rebellion was running out of time. Renato had to focus on the mission. He had to save the rebellion while there was still a rebellion to save. To the rebel base, now. Yeah.
Renato couldn't make sense of anything the Toads said, and listening to them argue made him restless. The Iblis Stone had made him a power in his own right. The core had kicked the Iblis Stone out of his head by filling it with more power than it could eat. It was time to meet the leadership of the rebellion. It was time to go to the ruins where they had hidden their secret base.
Surely this won't blow up in my
He was
face.
ready for anything the
Surely.
Ravens could throw at him. His sword felt ready too. It seemed to know what he wanted most. He was practically sure he'd find something useful in one of these things.
Indeed I did. I've presumably... Actually, have I been here yet? I can't recall. Oh. No. I have been here.
It was time to make a new sword.
I couldn't agree more. Where's the table? Ah. Yeah, it's my fault. Just getting too close.
There was an inscription. Praise the sun.
There we go. And I have been rewarded with a crafting table. Yeah! Movement speed, attack, sword. Increase movement speed and attack speed while I use energy. Kill things even faster, sword. Kinda seems like my damage suffers as a result of doing that.
Yellowstone wasn't pestering him anymore. Good. He didn't want to chit-chat, not with anybody. He didn't want to think about Zenobia or Lapino. He just wanted to fight.
Well, even if I don't like the sword, the important thing is I've got another key. I don't think there's any door I can't access now. Make that grab damage do more. Slow down time after a successful attack until your next action. This is going to slow down every attack I do? That seems kind of cool. Let's see what that's like.
Getting better and better.
And a workbench. And lots of branching paths. Where do I go? To one of the purple doors, maybe?
Snack time, boys! Caught the lead, Raven.
Why fight enemies? We can just toss them off any ledge.
Renato wondered idly if people who had built these poles had really, really long tentacles. For a moment,
Boom.
I wished that somebody had been watching.
Oh, don't worry, they are. Hello, TV Land. Oh, there's a chest down there. Now, what is that? Oh, just another
What's
thing.
there?
Ooh, an even bigger chest. Physical resistance. That's probably more useful to me than elemental. Hard to say, though. Drop shield and take damage. Yeah. Physical resistance. Can I go back up there? No. It's a one and done trip.
This was almost fun. Pain of killing another sentient being? What was that toad talking about anyway? He felt no pain, only pleasure as each filthy raven fell like a sword in the stone glowed
Stone
brighter
appears to be
and
corrupting you a little bit there.
brighter. All the while, those voices were cheering him on, like he was in the arena, winning bout after bout. None of us surprisingly unwounded.
Punish, terrorize, humiliate. The masses have been raising their fists, led by a handful of nobles with too much ambition. Is it envy? That the power that I seek is something they want for themselves? Are they just criminals who want to steal from us? There is but one punishment for such a crime. Death. Make an example of the leaders. Execute anyone who dares following them. Or is it fear, that the sacrifices I've been making would extend to them? This is a war for survival? Show them the true meaning of fear. Strike them fast and strike them hard. Make them suffer. Burn everything they hold dear. Or is it pride, that the meaning of those sacrifices would forever escape their comprehension? They want inclusion. A say in my decisions? This arrogance cannot be allowed. Take those who surrender to the salt mine. Let their lungs fill with corrosive dust. Let them betray one another for scraps of food. Let their children watch as they fall into savagery. End the rebellion without mercy. Punish, terrorize, humiliate. Emperor Isengrim III, War Manifesto. All right, changed my mind. I'm back on the rebel side. No, I don't want to read that again. I just want to break these pots.
Renato checked to make sure his sword was still working.
Yeah, I'm just trying to break this pot, but it's not having it. Come on. Yes, no upgrades.
Long live the Emperor! Called the ravens.
Ow. Thought it was clear. Those won't do anything for me.
Sleep tight, thought Renato.
Silly eyeballs. I'll have to move faster than that if you want to catch me. And no way back through there.
The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. He was on fire. So far, so good.
Oh god. Big boy.
That is how we do it, said Renato to himself.
This run's taking longer than I thought it would. Fights also seem to be getting more complicated with each upgrade I have. I guess that's the payoff, is early on super easy, but the stronger I get, the more enemies they deem to throw my way. So is the optimal strategy to just not increase my abilities at all?
He slew and slew across the ruins and into the labyrinth that hid the secret rebel base. He was surprised not to see any defenders or even any of the council toads. When he reached the council chambers, there were still no toads, only filthy ravens. "Stop him! He's gone mad!" One raven shouted until he had hacked them all down. There was not a single toad anywhere. No doubt they'd all been taken prisoner, so it was up to him to take revenge upon the Imperial fleet. But where had they taken the council? It couldn't be good that the Empire had not only found the secret rebel base, but killed or captured everyone there. No matter. He was on a roll. He headed full speed towards the Imperial fleet. He would be the fox who took down 100 warships. He charged.
Or maybe I've just taken on the hard route, you know, Fox against the world. Because that's the way he likes it when he's corrupted with the death frenzy.
But he was deadlier. The crowd was cheering him on. He could practically hear it. Renardo,
Oh, I got Treasure Hunter.
the hero of the rebellion.
Chance of rare loot by 1%. Well, I'll take it. That'll just... compile after a while.
Maybe I should follow my nose, thought Renardo.
Almost there.
As he slew his way across the fleet, Renardo thought he could hear a small voice whispering in his ear. "Look at your gauntlet, you idiot," it said. "Oh, for heaven's sake," he thought. "Can't I be alone in my own head? Look at the stone." "I'm busy," he told the voice. "Talk later." "Then it will be too late," cried the voice. "Don't be so bloody thick. Piss off," he told the voice and kept up his slaying. Boom. Good thing Renardo didn't have vertigo.
All right. What goes on now? Actually on board. Or I was. Oh, God.
that it? We done here? Oh, no. Last time? They're baying me, baying me to enter. This feels like a trap.
There was the Emperor. Renato cut down his elite guard. The exalted Toad cowered fearfully. He had sought to evade death and only made death come to him faster. Renato savored the moment. And then, too quick, it was over. He stood over the dead Emperor.
Death to tyranny! He shouted. Go, Habs, go!
Zenobia stepped out of the shadows. You have to stop, she said. You've killed everyone. Our ravens, your rebels. You murdered the whole rebel council. What? Oh, the ravens killed the council. Yeah, big idiot. They don't even know what the secret base is. Shouted Lapino, who was with her for some reason. Look at the stone, said Zenobia. It was black as night. Blacker. But I fed it the core, said Renato. It was glowing. Well, who needs the core? He said, and he attacked. Zenobia
Yeah,
conquered her best.
I guess.
Lapino hopped around like a mad rabbit, but he killed them both easily.
I need to play more of them, I think.
Unstoppable.
'Cause I really only had experience with Rogue Legacy and
shall be emperor. The tiny voice
Hollow
inside him screamed.
Hollow Knight. Does Hollow Knight
Doesn't even
count?
sound like you big
Actually?
fanny. The stone has stolen your mind. But he ignored it. Who listens to
Oh, and maybe
voices
Darkest
in their
Dungeon?
heads anyway? Madmen, that's who. And just like that, he was alive again. And back on the Farfarer, still fleeing.
Well,
burning
villain arc
Uber.
over.
The book was still open before him. So, the
Right,
book
yeah, it's just a
was
Metroidvania.
a portal. It took you to the future.
Yeah, I guess I
where
need to play more
destinies were
roguelikes,
granted.
more
He had
Metroidvanias, and,
died 3 times. But he
honestly,
learned the true thing.
isometric
Iblis
perspective
Stone
games have always
evil.
kind of turned me off
tried
ever
to
since I
corrupt anyone
played
who used it.
Diablo 3 with a friend. I've just been, like, avoiding these games altogether because something about the perspective just did not agree with me. It's why I haven't played Hades. But this has been alright so far. I don't know. Maybe it's maybe I just don't like Diablo 3. Or Diablo as a whole, for that matter, because I remember a friend showed me Diablo when I was real young, and I just didn't care for what was going on in there. You know what it actually probably is? The micromanaging of inventory that's required every time you kill something and they just explode with loot. Because I hated Neo for that same reason too. Especially with how, like, itty-bitty the improvements were and how innocuous some of the benefits on gear was. Like a 0.8% increase in damage when you use this particular skill against enemies of this element. Like, okay, when is that going to come up? Is that useful? Do I get that? I don't know. So I guess I probably hate looter shooters as well. No pain, no gain. The Iblis Stone. It would whisper and it would corrupt. When Reynardo searched for the Skyripper's core, little did he know that it had the power to keep the Iblis' Stone's dark influence at bay. Reynardo was baffled. He brought the gem to wise scholars. The stone feeds on pain, they said. But too much pain would overload the core. Find inner peace, they advised. But Reynardo could not afford to follow wise advice. Not when there was a rebellion to save. So he fought on until there was no one left standing in his path. Too late did he realize that the core had long been overloaded, but by then, he no longer cared.
The Iblis Stone corrupts anyone who uses it. 3 truths unlocked. 1 more to go. Well, I guess we'll have to find out what that is next session. How do I leave? Ah, there we go. Main menu. Okay, well, there we go. Oh, homie chose a bad time to leave, it looks like. Because we're going to be closing out here. It is, yeah, it's getting late. All right, thank you very much for stopping by. We will, yeah, definitely continue more of this, because as, I don't know, simple and repetitive as the loops are, I'm having a good time. Need more games with demos. Watch out for any of those Steam Next Fests, because those are great for trying out a bunch of different games. I played Sea of Stars that way, and that became like a must-play when I was using the Xbox Game Pass. There was a card-based game where you took the role of like a particular animal who had a fighting style unique to them, and you would upgrade your deck with cards that would often give you some penalties in exchange for damage. I can't remember what the fuck that game was. Let me see if I can't find that real quick. I think it's my wish list. No, not that. Where are you? Astrea 6-sided oracles. Yeah, the demo for that was pretty good. Darkest Dungeon 2 had a pretty good demo. Like I said, need to finish the first Darkest Dungeon before I think about buying that one, I think. Witch Spring R has a very similarly unpolished feel as Stories Path of Destinies. But there was something really fun about, like, the turn-based combat and then going back to your little witch cabin and brewing potions. It's like a little slice of life simulator for a witch. What else have I done demos for? I don't know, man. Like, just like Next Fest is really good for that. Itch.io often has quite a few games with demos that you can try out before buying the full product. And I guess just like whatever platform you're playing on will have filters you can use to find stuff with demos. Played a couple of things on PlayStation and Switch that definitely fell into that category. Although if you're specifically doing demos to find out if it'll run on your machine, then I guess PlayStation and Switch games are like standard across the board. The only reason they wouldn't run well on your system is because they're, I don't know, poorly ported. And there'll be plenty of articles online telling you if a game's console version is inferior. All right, and yeah, with that, we are done for the night. Thank you very much for stopping by. I will be back here again on Wednesday to continue with Myst. You know, I exhausted myself for a second there thinking about that, but honestly, I'm getting my head around these puzzles now. I think I know how to play Myst.
I have indeed smarter than, like, 8 or 10-year-old me. And apart from that, yeah, I'll continue looking into getting a Discord server set up in the future, and maybe some other stuff. Please vote in poll and leave your suggestions and recommendations in the box, and I will see you next time. Take care. Good night.